I'm Saturday hauling for you guys today, and I'm going to go ahead and start off with a couple repurchases. This first one is from Shea Moisture, and it's their raw shea butter soap. This one is with frankincense and myrrh extracts, and it says dry skin on here. But what I like to use this particular soap for is to wash my sponges. And I've tried quite a few of the bar soaps from Shea Moisture. The Black African soap is actually one of my favorite ones to wash my brushes with. But that one, along with quite a few other bars from the brand, have little nibs in them, and I don't like to use the ones with nibs for my sponges because it puts little tears in there. So I like to use this one in particular. For one, it does a really good job of cleaning the sponge, and I do wash my sponge every single day, but it also doesn't have those in there to like put little tears in the sponge, and it does a really good job of cleaning as well, just like the other soaps. But this one doesn't have those little particles in there. So I got another one of these guys, and this is an 8-ounce bar, and it's made in the USA, and just washing my sponge, this bar lasts me quite a while. So that's the Shea raw shea butter soap with frankincense and myrrh, the dry skin one. And then I also picked up 2 more of the Wet n Wild Bare Focus clarifying finishing powders. The pans on these are quite thin, and it does say that they've got 0.27 ounces of product in there, but I think it's probably by weight, because again, there's not a lot of product. Like, I go through them really quickly. They are pretty inexpensive. It adds a little bit of coverage, but it really makes the skin look nice, and it does a nice set on the face without being super drying. And it does say it's a clarifying finishing powder, and it's got tea tree, vitamin E, and vegan collagen in it. Again, really comfortable, and I like to use this especially when my skin's acting up, which typically is around when the weather changes. I get like breakout spots and stuff like this, and I feel like this product actually helps to calm them down. So I've been through, I think, 2 full sizes so far in both the translucent version and then this one right here, which is Fair Light. I think there are 4 or 5 shades in the range, but again, I do go through them pretty quickly. So I got 2 more of those guys, and these again are 0.27 ounces of product, and these are made in Mexico. But this is a really nice affordable setting powder, and I think it's a good one for helping with like acne prone skin, which is what I have. Then when I was in Walmart, I seen a full display with the new Wet n Wild Care Bears collection, so I picked up some products from that line. I got the highlighter, blush, and bronzer, which I'm wearing the blush and the bronzer on my face today, so I'll start off with those. I got the Live, Laugh, Hug bronzer here, and this guy's got 0.24 ounces of product, and this is also made in Mexico. I will say that the cute little imagery on the packaging is all a sticker, both the palette and these face products. I don't know if you can hear these cats. Again, this is the bronzer that I have on my skin today. It's very pigmented, and it's quite for me, this is like a medium bronzer. It could be a little bit lighter for my skin tone, so I do have to be a bit careful with it, because again, it's quite pigmented, but it blends out really nice, and I like the tone of it as well. It's a really nice bronzer. So that one right there is the Live, Laugh, Hug bronzer. I would say it's a matte, but there's a slight, well, maybe a satin. There's a little bit of a sheen, but no visible sparkles or anything like that. But I'd say it's like a satin matte finish. And then the blush is called Do What You Love. Again, 0.24 ounces, and this one is also made in Mexico. I've got this on my cheeks today as well, and I've been wearing this quite a bit. It's just a really pretty, like, mid-tone kind of pink shade. Nice pigmentation, blends out really nice on the skin. I really like it. Really good blush shade. There was only 1 shade of blush, 1 shade of bronzer, and 1 highlighter, so they could have expanded maybe a little bit, but I really do like the blush. And again, I would say it's kind of got that same finish like the bronzer. It's got like a satin kind of a finish to it, satin matte kind of finish, but it's not flat. Very pretty though. So that one is the Do What You Love blush. And then the highlighter is called Let Your Light Shine, 0.2 ounces of product in this guy, and this one is also made in Mexico. So it's got the yellow Care Bear on there. Now this one does have like little micro glitters in there, and it's a bit drier formulation compared to the blush and the bronzer. So it does look pretty on the skin, but I have to work at getting it to stick because I have a really dry cheek. I think if you've got like normal to oily skin, you won't have any problems with that, but I do want to mention that this does have micro glitter in it. It's a really pretty yellow toned kind of champagne shade, and it's just a little bit drier. It's not quite as smooth as the first 2. So that is the highlighter right there, and that one is called Let Your Light Shine. And then I also got the Caring Counts palette for eye and face, which is this guy right here. So I was able to kind of tell that it was a sticker because mine had like air bubbles in it. And I always think that the quality of the packaging feels more substantial or a little bit more expensive when it's like printed on the packaging as opposed to a sticker, if that makes sense. But this is a sticker. It's a cute sticker, but it is a sticker. So here is the palette here. There's a total of 0.63 ounces of product across 15 shades, and this palette is made in China. Now this guy here does have pressed glitters in it. There are 3 of them, which I'm not super crazy about. I wish they would have just stuck to like, you know, normal metallic shimmer shades, but they are in there. And then there's kind of a strange shade down here that's like a, I don't know, it's got a really weird texture to it, but it looks pretty over like a tacky primer. Now this palette isn't bad. I've seen worse from Wet n Wild, but I've also seen better. So it sits somewhere in the middle. And when I did a look with this, I used this deep purple in the crease and I blended out with, I want to say it was this pink and a little bit of this lilac. And the look that I got out of this palette was really pretty, but I did have to work at it a little bit, if that makes sense. So hopefully you can see in the swatches whether or not it's going to be something that you like. And because of this shade right here, it was a standalone for me. It's kind of got this light, interesting kind of shimmer to it. So there are the first 4. And then these next ones, I'm probably going to regret getting this glitter on my arm for the rest of the swatches in the video because it's really hard to get off. But and the glitters too, they're not like fine glimmers like or glitters with like a good base to them. They're like some kind of thick glitters, if you will. And then these next ones, I think you can even hear that in the camera, kind of the grit from that glitter. And then these last 3 shades. So that, guys, the Caring Counts palette for eye and face from the new Wet n Wild and Care Bears collection. Give you guys a little closer up of the swatches here. And then I'm still trying out different like brow lamination glue type products. So I thought I'd try the NYX the Brow Glue Instant Brow Styler. This is 0.17 ounces, and this guy is made in Taiwan. So it's this guy right here. And to my knowledge, there's only a clear formula of this. I think this came out kind of around the time that the Thick It Stick It came, which this is a nice brow gel. But this guy here, it's called a glue, and compared to the e.l.f. brow soap, which is what I've been using and really loving, it doesn't have near the hold, which I found really interesting because this is called glue, you know, brow glue or whatever. I thought that it would really like cement the hairs to my face. And the e.l.f. brow soap actually does a much better job of getting my brows to stand up and then laying on the face. And it's a decent brow gel, but it's not exactly the product that I was looking for, again, with the glue aspect to it of having that mega hold, if you will. The e.l.f. is still a winner for me, which is what I have in my brows today as well. But I'll just go ahead and show you the little tube here. It's got a nice itty bitty wand, but you can kind of see right there, see it kind of hanging off the applicator there. That's kind of the consistency of it. I don't know if that helps or not. And I mean, it does have like a tack to it. And for something that tacky, I was really surprised that it didn't have the hold compared to something that really isn't that tacky, which is the e.l.f. brow soap. So anyway, I'll continue to play around with it, but again, I still prefer the e.l.f. brow soap. So that's the NYX, the brow glue right there. And then I placed an order on the Base Blue Cosmetics website because they came out with an SPF 25 loose setting powder, which loose setting powders with an SPF in them are really hard to find. I know that Bare Minerals makes one, but setting kind of the more tacky sunscreen that I have underneath in the foundation, it sits a little bit funnier. I'm sure it wouldn't if I didn't have so much sunscreen underneath when I used that Bare Minerals product, but I like it more so as a finishing product, the Bare Minerals, as opposed to directly setting foundation, because it looks a little, it gathers a little bit and looks a little bit heavier doing it like that. So I was super excited about this product. Again, they're really hard to find. I used to use one from Kogendo that was an SPF of 20. It used to be my favorite all over setting powder and also for underneath the eyes, and they discontinued that. I'm hoping that more brands will come out with loose setting powders with an SPF. That would be ideal for me all throughout the summer and when I'm outside and stuff like that, to have that extra protection of SPF. I'm outside a lot in the summertime. So anyway, I decided to go ahead and try both shades of this, and I did go ahead and get the container that it came in, which is a really beautiful like porcelain container, and it came in this box with these little fuzzies in there. It's a really pretty box. So I ordered the container with a powder, and then I purchased a refill powder separately. So I'll show you the container. It is really pretty. It's like again, a porcelain. It feels like a porcelain, slight plaster Paris type of a packaging to it. It's got an angel on the top there. It's a very delicate, like detailed. I'm trying to get you guys to see how pretty that is. And the wings are just really stunning on there. And then it says, base blue right here. That's going to be really hard to see. And then inside you do have a very soft kind of velour puff in there, and you're supposed to take the container that the powder comes in and put that inside, and each refill or each powder comes with a little sifter thing inside the box. So I'm trying to show this to you guys without possibly dumping this all over myself. So you pull the top off right here. This one's got product in here. So this is one of the powders, and they both come like that. Even though I bought the container with a powder, they both came like this, the refill and the one that came with the container. So that's the packaging. And then you take the little mesh screen and stick it to the top of the powder and then put it inside of the container there. Just because of how, I don't know, how pretty this is, and like I would probably break it if I reached for that every day, you know, to do powder and stuff like that, because mine did come chipped. Like I didn't find the extra piece or anything like that, but there's a little tiny chip in mine already. So I'm actually going to put this up for decor. And then I depotted the pink version of this powder already into an empty Cover FX container that I actually grabbed out of my empties bag. Originally I thought that these were really full of product, but they're about half full. So you can see right there, it doesn't go all the way to the bottom. It goes to about right there. And it says on the packaging, this is the 01 shade in the pink. And that's what I used on my face today to set. Made in the USA. It is a talc-free formula, but it doesn't say on this packaging, and this is just how it came, how much product is in there. Because I go through a loose setting powder pretty quickly, I was excited to see that there's this like pretty substantially sized container that I thought was full of product, and it's not. It's only half full of products, so just an FYI. Now, getting into the products, I'm going to swatch both of the shades for you guys, but I want to tell you the sunscreen ingredient that is in this powder is a titanium dioxide, which by nature is a white powder. It's kind of known for leaving a white cast and stuff like that, and I set my face with the pink 01 version today, and I thought that if I used my deepest foundation, which is pretty deep, if I were to use a different setting powder, it's the Cool Beige from number 7, this guy right here, that I could get the white cast to kind of tone down on my skin using that powder. I'm still pretty light. I was very like, wow, it's got a really strong lightness factor to it. So just something to keep in mind, that both shades of this powder, if you use it as a setting powder, like directly over foundation, is going to substantially lighten up your foundation and your complexion. Like I kind of feel like my face is even a little bit lighter than my neck. So that's just, again, something to keep in mind. I'm going to continue using the powder because I think it looks really pretty. And if anything, I might turn it into a finishing powder throughout the summertime, just so that I don't get such a white cast on my face when I use the product. So I'm really hoping that Base Blue will come out with some shades that have a little bit more pigment to them, so that when you use them, they don't change the color of your face so much. I really thought, again, since I used that really deep foundation, that it would have evened out just right for me, and it didn't. It lightened up a lot still. So I'm going to swatch the two shades. So this one here is the 01. I didn't put the screen back in my cover effects, but this one has got a slight pink hue to it. With all that aside about the powder though, the powder itself is beautiful. It's got the slightest sheen to it and it looks beautiful on the skin. It doesn't feel drying. It feels really comfortable. It's not heavy. Like the powder itself is a beautiful product. It's just that lightening that I'm not crazy about, and I think you can even see that. It is so silky smooth too, you guys. Just very, very silky. That one there is the 01 shade right there. Here is the 02 shade, which is a little bit more neutral in tone. It's so soft. Think of like flour. It feels like flour. I don't know if this is going to help you guys. Kind of trying to, I've made a mess there. I'm going to depot this into a sifter container as well. But that is the 02 shade and there's the 01 shade. So on my hand there, no, they're about, well, 02 might be just a little bit more castier than the, if that's a word, than the 01 shade. But again, the powder itself is just, it's so pretty. Like I feel like it looks stunning on the skin for an SPF of 25. The one place I did not like it is I used it to set underneath my eyes. And because it has just the slightest bit of glow to it, I don't like a glow underneath my eyes, and that's probably why I didn't like it quite as much. So I just don't like to use it underneath my eyes because of that. And then inside the box, I don't know if they were doing a promotion or what, but they had this penguin silicone coating blending sponge in there. And this guy here is made in China, and it's the cutest. So it's a little penguin egg looking guy. He's got a tail and everything. And then the holder that you put the sponge in is his feet. It's very cute. I have not used it yet, but it is sure a cute little sponge there. And then they also had this little tiny one here, which I like the point on this one. Like a medium-sized sponge in this shape would be great for my inner corner, because you guys know they discontinued my favorite one from Wet n Wild, the little double carat orange one. Anyway, this was in there too. It's a little tiny sponge right there. And that is everything that I got in this week that I purchased, because we got a massive blizzard that started on Tuesday night. We got over 30 inches of snow, and I think the wind gusts were 60 miles an hour. So it was pure whiteout for 2 days. And then we're supposed to get hit with some more snow, I think tomorrow, which is Sunday. So that ought to be fun. Granted, I am not complaining because we really, really needed the moisture. But anyway, a bunch of the packages that I was supposed to get in this past week got delayed. So I wasn't able to get them. So these next couple packages that I did get earlier in the week are in PR, and they're from brands that I really, really love. And this first one is from BK Beauty. They launched a collection with Angie from Hot and Flashy a while back, and they were selling them in sets. And they recently came out individually. I think it was a big request, hoping that they came out individually. So they reached out to me and asked me if there were any duplicates that I wanted, and there were 3 of them in particular that I use quite a bit. So they sent me over another one of the A506 brush, which is an amazing brush for concealer if you like to use a brush for concealer. I typically use a sponge with a point, but granted, if Wet n Wild is getting rid of my favorite pointed sponge, I might start using a brush. But other than that, I love this to put primer on my lids for eyeshadow. So they sent over another one of these guys. It's just an awesome shape, and the quality of BK Beauty brushes is really great. They're synthetic. They're very, very soft, but the bristles on the ends have some texture to them, so it allows that soft kind of synthetic to pick up product well, which not all synthetic brushes do. So that's something that I love about them, and they're really pretty too. So these ones here are the gray ones with the Hot and Flashy Angie collaboration, and in the core range the handle is a burgundy, but that guy there is the A506. And then a brush that I use every single day, and I'm probably going to end up just placing an order for a couple more of these. This is the A504 brush. I absolutely love this brush for blending out colors in the crease, and I like to put the deep shade down first, and then I'll like layer mid-tone to lighter up underneath the brow, and I love to buff that crease with this little tiny brush. It's got such great precision and it blends out really well too. So that's the A504. And then I also got another one of the A507 brushes, which is kind of like a blush brush, but because of the size, you can really use it for quite a few things. You can use it for bronzer, you can use it for highlight, you can even use it to buff all over the skin because of the size, but it's also really good for blush. I like to use this for cream blush more in particular because again, it is a synthetic fiber and it's really soft. It's quite dense as well, so I like to pick up the cream, kind of pounce it on the back of my hand and then push it onto the cheek, and I love it for that. So that one is the A507 brush right there, and these are all available to purchase individually now as well, which I think is awesome because again, I think I would like to have a couple more of these guys, so I might just end up doing that. But huge thank you to BK Beauty for sending these guys over as well. And then the relatively new What's Up Beauty brand came out with a new collection, and they called it the Geodes collection. They had emailed me over asking if they could send it to me, and I loved the Desert Monsoon palette that they came out with so much. It was one of their first products that came out. They also make really nice eyeshadow brushes, and they make nice nail polishes as well, but I haven't been wearing nail polish even though I have a ridiculous amount of it. I just haven't been wearing it as recently. They came out with a new eyeshadow palette and it's called the Geodes palette, and then they also came out with 6 new nail colors and then a topper coat. So I'm going to show you guys those. I'll go ahead and start off with the eyeshadow palette first. So it's made in Italy, it's assembled in the USA, it's talc free, cruelty free, net weight 10.8 grams or 0.39 ounces across 12 shades. So that's not a ton of product that you're getting per shade. However, the quality on these shadows is just impeccable. It's very, very nice. I loved the first palette just as much as I love this one. And I've worn every single shade in here numerous times, and it's actually the eyeshadow palette that I have on my eyes today. And I love it. It's a one and done for me. It's actually one of the rare palettes that I feel like I could just grab just this palette and travel with it and not be wishing that I brought something else along, if that makes sense. And there's not a lot of palettes that can do that for me. So this one here is the What's Up Beauty Geodes palette. The packaging is a cardboard. It's very slim and like a very travel friendly sized palette as well, with 12 shades in it. I think that my cats are doing something naughty, so I need to go see what they're doing real quick. Up to shenanigans. Anyway, it's got a magnetic closure and a mirror in there, and then here are your 12 shades. There's a nice array of mattes in there, both deep and then blend out shades. This shade right here is a really good highlight shade, but it's probably the shade in here that's the most kind of dry. It looks really pretty. I've got it underneath the brow and on the inner portion of my lid, but that's the one, and I think it's because there are some really, really fine micro glitters in that one, so it had a little bit of fallout, but that's the only shade kind of like that. The other sparkly shades in here just go on super smooth and I don't get like any fallout with them, but this one here is just a little bit more flaky than the others. And then the mattes in here are super smooth. They're pigmented, they blend out really well. There's like little to no fallout in there. Just a really nice eyeshadow palette. And this yellow I can also make work as a highlight shade too, when like utilizing them with those green shades. I've got this shade right here on the lid with a little bit of that guy. Look at how pretty that is. And these next shades. And these last 4, this shade is beautiful as well. But there wasn't a look, and like I said, I've worn this palette several times since I've gotten it, and there wasn't a pairing or like a group of colors that I used that didn't go together well. Like every look that I did out of this palette turned out really pretty. Just a really, really pretty eyeshadow palette right there. And that again is the Geodes palette from What's Up Beauty. And the packaging is really pretty. This one's actually textured, kind of like a geode kind of little texture situation to it. So for comparison, you've got the Desert Monsoon on the top and then the new Geodes on the bottom. And then here is the Gloss Over Fast Dry Top Coat. So they sent this guy over. It's a fast dry top coat. And then 6 nail varnishes. Let me take them out of the box so you can see the colors really well. There are 2 creamy matte nail polishes, which these are really pretty, like grungy kind of nude shades. So kind of the khaki one is called Clay. And then the more kind of rosy tone neutral is called Rondonite. So those are the 2 creamy matte shades, Clay and Rondonite. These sparkle shades look absolutely stunning. This one here is called Peridot. It's like a green with a bluish golden shift to it. So that one is Peridot. And then you've got Agate, or Agate, which is a stone, I believe. And that one is a rosy tone with a orange golden kind of sparkle to it. So you've got Peridot and Agate right there. Agate. Is it agate? And then these next 2 are 2 shades just after my heart. These are like my favorite kind of eyeshadow shades too. You've got Earth-like, which is a brown with some purple, pink, silver kind of sparklies in it. Brownish purple actually. And then you got Crystal is the 6th shade. And that's a purple with some pink, some blue, some purple sparkles in there. So this one is Earth-like, and then this one here is called Crystal. And then I wanted to show you guys, since I don't have them on my nails, the little image of what they would look like on the nails. So those ones are the 2 creamy matte shades, and then there are the 4 sparkly shades right there. And a huge thank you to What's Up Beauty for sending over their latest Geodes collection. And then lastly, I got a lovely little package from Saturday Skin, which is another brand of skincare that I love. They are actually a Korean-based skincare brand. They sent over some stuff because they came out with minis. So it says, meet our minis, smaller size, same Super 7 peptide mix and superfoods. So it says starting at $11. So they sent over 4 of their products. This is the little pamphlet that came in there. They sent over a mini of the Carrot and Niacinamide Moisturizing Cream. This is a 1.01 fluid ounce jar, and I love this product. I used up an entire one of these. And then they sent over the Waterfall Glacial Water Cream, also 1.01 ounces. This is lighter than the carrot cream. So I like to use it more like a serum type product underneath heavier creams is how I like to use like these gel type moisturizers, because they sink into the skin really well, but I do need something heavier over the top. And then there's a Wide Awake Brightening Eye Cream, 0.51 fluid ounces. This is a mini. Usually eye creams come in a 0.5 ounce like bottle, but their full size is like an ounce, their eye cream anyway. So this is the brightening eye cream. And then there's a mini of the pore clarifying toner, which I also really like this, but I can only use it once or twice a week. And then this is a product that my mom is head over heels for. She uses it every single day and she loves it. So it's a 10% glycolic acid is what it is. And they came out with the 1.01 little jar of this guy right here. So a huge thank you to Saturday Skin for sending over those products as well. And that's all she wrote for today's video. Sorry I don't have like more makeup products and stuff like that, but they're stuck somewhere. We're finally just getting the roads cleared out and stuff like that. As of even last night and this morning, there was still no travel advised and blockages on some roads and stuff. And we're supposed to get, they're predicting another 5 inches tomorrow. So again, I'm not complaining about the moisture because we really need it, but I didn't get my packages, so my apologies. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. Thank you for watching. Do not forget to wear sunscreen, and I will see you guys later. Bye.